if you haven't seen Leptonic before and you're just getting into Leptos, Leptonic is a great way to get up and running very quickly. And I found personally that reading the Leptonic code base is a great way to learn how to use Leptos to build real applications. So thanks for the hard work, Lukas. I'll let you take it away.
Oh, thank you for that. I I really like that you found it that way. Let me first introduce myself a little bit. My name is Lukas. I'm 28 years old. Come from Germany, so it's 22 o'clock here. Kind of late. And I work as an IT consultant currently for Deutsche Bahn, rewriting the whole ticket system. And we did a lot of work there with Vue.js, migrating to Vue 3, big thing, and working a lot with Vuetify as a component library, where if you read the documentation, you just immediately bump your head against the wall thinking, what am I looking at? Like, here's a component that takes a property, it accepts number or string or number array or string array or an array of function to any, and you think like, what the heck? So you look at the code and you realize, oh, it wants to give it numbers. Then you think, well, if you want numbers, then just tell me you need numbers. And if I have strings, let me convert this myself and on arrows handle this myself, because you probably won't do that, right? And as an additional thing, I'm working on a side project, which is a deployment automation system where you just simply click a few buttons and you get a Nomad cluster and a Ceph cluster and something more in the background spun up in a few minutes. And this has a administrative management side as an application only used by a few people, which is written in Rust and for quite a long time now using Leptos. And for this use case, I wrote a lot of components, and at some point thought, why don't put this out, open source it, so that people can contribute. And I hope more people find it useful and can do something with it. It's still quite early in development, as you might have seen. There's a lot of stuff that can be added to it, and it's, I think, an easy way to start because it's really separated. Components are very much separated from one another. So if you just want to add something, feel free to give it a shot.
That's great.
Yeah. And if you don't know, leptonic.dev is the website which posts documentation and use case instructions and how to do something. It's currently in the works of being updated to version 0.4, which then will also support server-side rendering. Took some time today to update a few components and published a new version of the site. Leptonic.dev is actually running in SSR mode right now, so that's a great thing, except one case, the TipTap integration, the WYSIWYG editor is not currently running well on the server. Yeah. But I hope that a new version can come out in a few days.
Yes. Well, it is a ton of work trying to build a component library. So good on you for taking that on and spearheading that. And I hope that you get some new contributors coming to the library to help you out and help move that forward. I know that I've actually seen a couple of people trying to use Leptonic along with the Tauri to build mobile applications as well. Interesting use case for it, and probably a good easy way to get started with building a mobile app with Leptos.
As well as Greg said earlier, could be a potential for writing different or supporting different backend technologies, like writing out HTML if you're building something for the web or for mobile, or writing out something like GTK if you're building a native application for desktops. Could be something to look into in the future.
Yes, definitely. So, like I said last time, Leptos version 0.6 just came out a couple of days ago. Do you still have a lot of work left to do to support that in Leptonic?
I don't really think that the library will be much affected by the new release. I have to wait on a new publishing of Leptos Use, because many components actually use Leptos Use under the hood to do some of the heavy lifting. Great library. Props to you, Makesh. And as well, thanks to Greg and Ben for doing this huge amount of work, the amount of hours you put into Leptos as a library. Very appreciated. And thanks to you, Daniel, and Luke for hosting this meetup. Exciting to see this happen.
Well, yes, thank you. And thank you very much for being here. And well, thank you to all the speakers for being here. It's exciting to bring everybody together to learn a little bit more about Leptos and working with it. And we've got, it sounds like we've got some confusion from Lucas's on Discord, saying that you'll need some more unique Discord names so you don't get mixed up with you and Luke, the guy who's helping organize meetups. So yes, Luke, very popular name, Lucas.
Yeah. My Discord name is El Podcast with the last name. Same handle as I have on GitHub.
Okay, good to know. What else?
Are there any Q&As or questions coming in?
Actually, if anybody has been using Leptonic while they're building a Leptos app, let us know in the chat.
Yeah, we did have some questions from Shive. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And Ben seconds this, but I think you mentioned it, or at least hinted at it, Lucas. SSR when is what they asked.
Probably pretty soon, with the new release of Leptos, and then the new release of Leptos Use, and a few more days. I think there will be version 0.4 of Leptonic, which then fully supports server-side rendering. Yeah,
All
the
right.
whole thing that this previously was more or less client-side rendering only was that the tool we were building or are building and using Leptos with is currently client-side rendered only because it's an internal tool. It doesn't need to load that fast on startup. Probably fine dropping the complexity of server-side rendering in that case. But yeah, there are different users and different use cases, and a lot of the time, if you're building a front-end application that really faces your end users, you want to have that load fast as possible. And I know for that you all want and need server-side rendering.
We had another question come in from Cedra on Discord. Does Leptonic use a specific design system? With the follow-up question, if so, can we view and contribute to it?
It doesn't really use a known design system, but you can contribute either way. Just look at the themes and the CSS code written in there and change something. If you want to see something changed, there are a lot of things to be done there. It can be done there.
I can continue, Daniel, or do you want to take the next one, Daniel?
Yeah, actually, Chase is asking, how easy is it to tweak the styling with Leptonic? And does it work with Tailwind, or should you expect to just use regular CSS?
I hope I can publish an example that uses Tailwind. I've never used Tailwind with Leptos and Leptonic myself, but I hope it is possible. It is mainly written with pure CSS, and you can override many variables that the themes use on the hood for the most common things you would want to change. You can use a variable, just override that in a specific section of your main CSS file, which is pretty easy. And if you want to go deeper, you can always override more styles in your style sheet, or you can supply classes or inline styles to the Leptonic components you add to your application.
That's really good to know.
I try to add the class and style pass through to every component, but it's a hard part to do because many components there are which are more complex than something very simple. If they require a more nested markup structure, it really gets hard to style anything or everything by just accepting a single class or style property, because what do you attach it to? The outermost wrapping element or some inner element, or do you accept more class and style parameters to style that, or do you restructure everything and let the user build some bigger components with smaller individual pieces? But if you go that route, how do you encourage that there's no misbehavior or misusage of the library, putting some children in a parent element which shouldn't belong there? Yeah, lots of things to consider.
Yes, I think you make extensive use of CSS variables in Leptonic as well, right? So it should be fairly easy to modify things to suit your own styling needs.
I hope so.
That's good. Actually, Ben is asking if you can recommend a data table for Leptos, a data table component.
I know that Markesh, who was previously here on the stream, actually wrote one where you can have a struct with 30 serialized and annotations and automatically let it generate code that produces some nice looking data table. For the application we're working on, I have developed a full-blown CRUD system, more or less, where you simply do it decoratively and you have the create, read, update, delete, all that stuff with sorting and all the bells and whistles and pagination. And this also has a Leptos site, which renders a table with pagination and all the stuff, detail views. But I don't know, maybe this can be integrated at some time into Leptonic, but that's not really usable for anyone right now.
I'll post the link into the chat for users, but this is the one Makesh made, which is Leptos struct table.
Thank you, Luke.
That looked really good last time I tried it.
Wow. So if I understand you correctly, you said that you're actually, you've deployed a Leptos app at work?
Yeah, we have that. not open to the public until now, but we hope it will get there.
Oh, cool. Using Actix or Axum?
Axum as the backend, and Keycloak for authentication. I also wrote 2 libraries for that, a Leptos Keycloak Auth and an Axum Keycloak Auth, to small little plugins you can use on both the Leptos side and the Axum side to do the JWT handling and perform the authentication, which previously got an update in the Axum Keycloak Auth. It now supports OpenID Connect discovery and does all the decoding key handling in the background. Yeah.
Very cool. If you're able to share those examples, I'm sure that a lot of people would be interested to see how you did that.
Yeah, I always wanted to make somewhat of a blueprint application of a thing I wrote there that really uses a backend and front end and server-side rendering and the Keycloak authentication and the certs which are generated and whatnot. There goes a lot into it. Typical stuff when you start a new project. You have to make a bunch of decisions, create configurations you don't touch for months or years after. And it would be nice if this could be a blueprint somewhere so people can look at it and take notes or copy something.
Yeah.
Maybe find it helpful.
Yeah, that is one of the great things about Rust applications is that you can build them, deploy them, and forget about them. And you don't have to worry about a ton of runtime errors like you do with JavaScript.
Yeah, stability in general is like so good with Rust compared to JavaScript applications. It was in a different project as of late, and they all use JavaScript to build their small microservices, fetching data and pushing them to Kafka service. And it all went well in the beginning because you can start so easily, and then problems bubble up. You don't know the types you're dealing with, and to think, man, I want to get back to Rust.
Yes, of course. Actually, it looks like you've actually open sourced the Axum Keycloak Auth library already, isn't that right?
Yeah, it is open source.
Oh, very cool.
Maybe someone can post a link or so.
Yeah. If anybody's wondering, there's a couple of channels, the showcase channel and useful links in the Leptos Discord, where people often post libraries that they're building, cool things that they've made. Great places to check out if you're looking for little tools and utilities to help your Leptos journey. Well, I think that pretty much, unless there's anything else that you want to say in closing, Lukas?
Nothing more than wish you all a great rest of the day.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking your time out of your day to come and join us here today. Thank you.
No problem.
And
it was a pleasure.
for hard work on Leptonic.